Hello everyone, welcome to second to Revit Autodesk training. Now in the last class we had an introduction to Revit Autodesk, and we also talked about the interface. The interface, which is we have the menu bar, we have the project browser, and we have the properties, and we have the small icons here, and also we also have our status bar. Status bar tells you what you are doing in your scene, just like in AutoCAD. So let us just do a quick recap of what we did in the last class. We talked about the design bars. Under the menu we have the design bars, which is the wall, the doors, windows, and all of this. And I said if you see an arrow, that means there's something beneath it. You just click on it and it will open. You click on this and it will open. You click on this and it will open. We also talked about some accelerator keys. Accelerator keys are short keys that we use in our design. For example, we talked about HH and SA. We'll do that shortly so that you understand what I'm saying. Then we talked about the project browser. We talked about the project browser. We said this is where you have all your views. We have all your views. We have your floor plans, your ceiling plans, your 3D, your elevation, your sections. Now the section doesn't show until you create it, and where they say you should create it under your view create, because we haven't done any plan. That's why it's not highlighted. So let's quickly do a small 3D, a small model, and see what we are talking about. We go to your floor plan. Let us just create a wall. I can drag to edit. Now I'll go to my default 3 view. We talked about that in the last class. We talk about shaded views. You can either put it in shaded, in consistent, depends on what you want. So let's leave it in consistent. Now I want to change the height of this to 3 meters. Under the properties, I told you about the properties. It changes. You can edit and change the thickness of the property or the color of whatever you are doing in your scene. Now let us change this one to, now we talked about the accelerator keys. Let us change it to another color. So what if I want to select all, what will I click on? What is the accelerator key I taught you? SA. You click on one and say SA. So everything in that category is highlighted. For example, if I have another wall, architecture wall, wow, my properties is not here. So how did I say we should bring back our properties? Can you remember? View, users interface, and properties. So in case any of this menu bars gets missing, you know where to go to. So let's give it another type. Let's say the 200 wall. Now if I select this category SA, you can see this one is not highlighted because they are not in the same category. They are in the same family, which is wall, but they are not in the same category. That's why it is not highlighted. We go back to our 3D view. You can see SA. This one is not highlighted. Now I want to change this one to this one, so I'll just click on it and come to my property bar and give it the same material, which is a masonry type. Now we have our 3D model, so we understand what I'm trying to talk about. The short keys, that's the accelerator key. So for example, you can say HH, that means to hide all. You come here and we set temporary height. It brings it back into the system. Now we also talked about what? SA, to select all categories in a family. So you get that. That's good. So let's continue. We also talked about changing the graphic options. Changing the graphic options and putting shadows in our scene. Now in today's class we are going to talk about families. Families is what make Revit. If you understand families, you understand how Revit works. If you understand families, you understand how Revit works. Under families, we have already loaded elements or components which we are going to use in our scene. For example, doors. If we go to doors, how did I get here? There's a small button here, plus button. Just click on it and it expands. So for example, let us see what we have under walls. You click on the small button and it expands. So there are different types of walls. We have the basic, cutting, and stacked. Anytime you see a plus button, that means there's something underneath. So let's click on it and see. We have different type of wall, just like what we saw here, the different types of wall. All these elements have been loaded into your project file. So when you open your project file, you will see this in your family menu. Now let's go to doors. We have the single flush door. This one I just created it. So to create your own door, you just click on what you want to edit. For example, I want to edit this one. I just double click. I now say duplicate, and now maybe let's put it to 900 by 2.11 mm, and now click on OK, and now edit the dimension of it. If you do not edit the dimension, it will not reflect in your drawing. It will not reflect in your drawing. So you have to edit what you have written inside here into this dimension bar. You have to edit what you have written here into this dimension bar. And you notice I duplicated. That means when you want to create another element, you have to duplicate so that it will not override what was in your project file. So when I'm through, I'll just click OK. So this is my own what they call it, my own door. So you can create your own doors, you can create your own windows, you can create your own ceiling. All you have to do is to duplicate. For example, let us go to a window. I double click and brought me here. I'll duplicate. I want to save it as 900 by 2.12 mm. I say OK. Then what I say is you go to your dimension and change what you have written in your type bar. So I'll change this one to 12, and I'll change this one to 900, and I click OK. So if I go, I can see my own door type here. So that's how you create your own elements in the family bar. Let us shake this one off. Now let us change the wall type also. When you are through with something, minimize it so that it doesn't take much of your space. You minimize it like this. You minimize it so it's more compact. Now I want to change our wall type. Now we'll go to under walls. We go under walls. Now we have basic walls. So we have different types of walls. We have basic wall in the family category. We have basic wall, we have curtain wall, and we have stacked wall. Now we can edit the properties of these our walls. For example, when you click on it tells you what type of wall it is. It is a basic wall, and the size is 200 mm thickness. So you can edit type. Now under edit type, it shows you the family, the different types of wall, just as we have here. We have basic wall, curtain wall, and stacked wall. So if I click on basic wall, it shows me the different types of walls that we have. So I can change this one to 300 and say OK. You can see it has changed the properties of this wall. If I click on this and edit wall, under family type we have basic wall, then the type, let's change it to 90 mm brick. I will click OK. You can see this wall, as the properties of this wall has been changed. Now if you want to change this, let's right click, let's drag and click, then let's drag and click. Now you can see it's telling me multiple types selected. That means they are not in the same type, but in the same family, which is walls, but they are not but they are not in the same type of walls. If you understand my language, this is a different type of basic wall, this is another different type of basic wall. So if I click on one and say SA, you can see the others are not highlighted because they are not in the same type of basic wall. Now if I want to also change it to another type of wall, maybe curtain wall, let me click on it and I'll edit properties. I'll come to this system file and change it to curtain wall and click OK. You can see it has changed to curtain wall. Then under curtain wall, we have curtain wall, we have exterior glazing, we have storefront. If I click on this, I come to the, when you want to edit something, always click on it. I can change it to exterior glazing, and I can change it to storefront. So let's use our navigation box. You can see we have different types of wall in this our scenario. Want to go back to default 3D, you press this our small home here. So we have a curtain wall here, we have a basic wall here, we have another type of basic wall, and we have another type of basic wall. Now let's change this one to another type of wall. Let's change it to stacked wall and say okay. If I change the orientation so that you can see what I'm doing, this is another type of wall. This has multiple layers of wall. You can see this one has brick, and it has masonry here, and in the inside it has another column. It has another material, sorry. So if I click on it and edit type, you can see what is inside that structure. We have brick on one side, on metal stud, and block on another metal stud. We don't usually use this in Nigeria, but if you, this is how they do when they want to create a wall with multiple material slots. Let's go back. Let's try back. You can also have a preview of what you are doing. You can see this is the external and this is the internal, just like how it is in the scene. Click OK. So we have dealt with different types of walls and how we can change them in our scene. So today's assignment is for you to get up to this level, change this basic wall to a brick type, change this to a metal stud and then a stacked wall, change this to the basic 200 mm, and change this to a curtain wall using storefront, and take a snapshot and send to me before the next class. Thank you. Bye.